Have you ever heard a story or even witnessed an event that your rational mind simply couldn't explain? A prayer that seemed to be miraculously answered? A shaman in a remote tribe performing a rain dance and then dark clouds gathering? Or a mantra chanted with all sincerity and then an illness suddenly receding? Even when we see and hear things so strange they seem unreal. To simply believe them is often labeled superstition. Many would also call it a coincidence, a psychological effect, or worse, a hoax. But is it really that simple? However, I personally do not encourage a faith that is not accompanied by wisdom. Therefore, we need to clarify this to dispel the delusion. Together we will step into this forgotten territory. We will ask a bold question. Could it be that what we often call superstition is actually a profound, albeit unconscious, application of a fundamental law of the universe? Could the ability to create reality through a sufficiently powerful faith be a truth obscured by our own skepticism? We will not rely on anecdotes. We will use the sharpest tool of logical thinking, modern science, to dissect this issue. We will explore why the latest discoveries in quantum physics and neuroscience are opening an astonishing door, suggesting that these miracles are not only possible, but also follow precise laws. And more importantly, we will decode the biggest puzzle. Why do some people seem to be able to do this, while most of us cannot? What is the secret behind a faith that can bend reality? To begin this journey, we must return to the foundation of all matter, to the strange and beautiful world of the quantum. As we explored in the previous episode, everything in the universe before being observed does not exist as a solid particle. It exists as a wave of all possibilities, a suspended state called quantum superposition. Imagine the universe as a giant computer screen that is turned off. It holds the potential to display countless images, but right now it's just an empty field of potential. The act of observation by consciousness is like clicking on a specific icon. Instantly, from innumerable possibilities, a single image is selected and displayed on the screen. Physicists call this process the collapse of the wave function. This is no longer a hypothesis. It's a fact proven through the double-slit experiment and countless others. The consciousness of the observer doesn't just passively record reality. It actively participates in creating that reality from an infinite field of potential energy. Max Planck, the father of quantum theory, once said, "The mind is the matrix of all matter." This implies a shocking truth. Matter does not come first, with the mind arising later to perceive it. On the contrary, the mind, consciousness itself, is the foundation, the screen upon which physical reality is drawn. So, if all consciousness has this ability, why aren't our lives a continuous series of miracles? Why can't we just believe we'll win the lottery and have it happen? The answer lies in the nature of the act of observation. In quantum physics, an effective observation isn't a fleeting, casual glance. It requires a clear, definite measurement. Similarly, in creating reality, a passing thought, a half-hearted, contradictory belief, doesn't have enough power to collapse the wave function decisively. It's like constantly moving your mouse over many different icons without clicking on any of them. The screen remains blurry, with no clear image displayed. A shaman performing a ritual, or a mother sincerely praying for her child isn't just thinking about the outcome. They are focusing their entire conscious energy, emotion, and belief onto a single possibility. They are performing an act of quantum observation with immense intensity and coherence. So, where do the intensity and coherence of consciousness come from? How can a person focus their belief to the point that it becomes a force capable of influencing the physical world? This is where we must look at humanity's oldest and most sophisticated technology, rituals and mantras. To an outsider, a shaman's ritual can look very strange. The dances, the songs, the symbolic objects, the repetitive sounds, It all seems meaningless, but when viewed from a neurological and psychological perspective, they are extremely effective tools for doing one thing: guiding the practitioner into a special state of consciousness. Our brain operates at different brainwave frequencies. Our normal everyday state is beta, the state of alertness, analysis, anxiety, and doubt. This is the state of the rational filter. In this state, any new intention is analyzed, judged, and often dismissed by the ego. This is impossible. That's ridiculous. Rituals, with their rhythmic repetition of sound and movement, serve to shift the brain out of the beta state and into alpha, or even theta. Alpha waves are a state of deep relaxation and creativity, the gateway to the subconscious mind. Theta waves are even deeper, the state of dreaming and deep meditation, where the boundary between the self and the outside world begins to dissolve. In these states, the rational filter is temporarily bypassed. Intention is no longer judged. A chant or a mantra is not just words. It is a vibrational frequency sown directly into the fertile ground of the subconscious, no longer blocked by the weeds of doubt. The repetition of a mantra acts like a laser. A regular light bulb emits scattered, weak light, but when photons of light are gathered and made to move coherently and in unison, they form a laser beam powerful enough to cut through metal. Similarly, our scattered, contradictory thoughts are very weak, but when consciousness is focused on a single intention, repeated over and over in an alpha-theta state, it becomes a laser of consciousness with extremely powerful energy. It creates an incredibly clear and persistent quantum observation, continuously clicking on a single possibility in the quantum field, until that possibility has enough energy to manifest as a particle of reality. A ritual is not superstition. It is a technology for creating the coherence and synchronization of consciousness. However, simply putting the brain into an alpha-theta state is not enough. There is another element, an energy source even more powerful than thought, and that is emotion. Modern science, particularly research from the HeartMath Institute, has shown that the human heart generates an electromagnetic field many times stronger than the brain's. This electromagnetic field not only surrounds our body, but can also be measured several feet away. More importantly, the quality of this field changes depending on our emotions. When we are in a state of stress, anger, or fear, the heart's electromagnetic field becomes chaotic and incoherent. But when we are in a state of love, gratitude, or compassion, this field becomes harmonious, coherent, and extremely powerful. This state is called heart coherence. Now let's connect this to what we've been discussing. A truly powerful faith is not just a thought in the head. It must be a feeling in the heart. It is the union of a clear intention from the brain and a powerful positive emotion from the heart. When a shaman performs a ritual, he isn't just mumbling empty words. He is living in the result. He feels the joy and gratitude of his tribe when the rain comes. He is creating perfect coherence between his brain and his heart. This coherence generates a consistent and powerful electromagnetic signature, a signal that is broadcast into the quantum field. This is why prayers that come from desperation and fear are often ineffective. Although the intention, brain, is to be healed, the emotion, heart, is the fear of sickness. The signal being sent is contradictory and chaotic. It's like pressing the gas and the brake at the same time. The car goes nowhere. This also explains why the placebo effect is real. When a person truly believes that the sugar pill they are taking is a powerful medicine, the brain's intention to be healed, and the heart's emotion of hope and trust are united. They create a coherent energy field that commands the body itself to produce the necessary chemicals for healing. Faith doesn't just affect the external world. It is a powerful medical force from within. At this point, we have two important keys: a focused mind in an alpha-theta state, and a coherent heart, filled with positive emotion. But there is still one final major barrier, an invisible gatekeeper that explains why most of us, despite our efforts, cannot create extraordinary changes. That gatekeeper is the subconscious mind. Neuroscientists estimate that our mind is divided into two parts. The conscious mind, which accounts for only about 5%, and is where our thoughts, desires, and goals reside. The other 95% of the power belongs to the subconscious mind. The subconscious is a massive storage facility, containing all the memories, experiences, core beliefs, and programs that have been installed since we were in the womb. It operates automatically, like the operating system of a computer. And this is precisely the problem. Your conscious mind might be trying to plant a new intention. I want to be wealthy and abundant. But if your subconscious mind, from childhood experiences or family teachings, has been installed with programs like money is evil, rich people are greedy, I'm not worthy of being rich, then what happens? A terrible internal conflict breaks out. The 5% power of the conscious mind must confront the 95% power of the subconscious. It's like a single rower trying to paddle against the current of a mighty river. No matter how hard you try, you will be swept away by the power of the subconscious flow. This contradiction creates a completely chaotic energy state. You are sending two opposing signals into the quantum field. On one hand, you are observing the possibility of wealth. On the other hand, a much larger part of you is observing and reinforcing the reality of lack. As a result, the wave function will collapse into the very reality your subconscious believes in, because it is the more powerful observer. A shaman, a saint, or a person with extraordinary healing abilities has one core thing in common: a non-conflicted mind. Through years of training, meditation, rituals, or sometimes through a life-altering near-death experience, they have succeeded in reprogramming their subconscious. They have uprooted limiting beliefs and planted new ones that are aligned with their intentions. When the conscious and subconscious minds merge as one, when the 5% and the 95% are both pointing in the same direction, you are no longer rowing against the current. You become the river itself. 100% of your conscious energy is focused on a single outcome. Your observation becomes incredibly powerful and free from interference. And that is when reality must comply. So, how can we communicate with and reprogram this giant gatekeeper, which determines 95% of our reality? The subconscious mind does not understand the language of logic and reason. It understands the language of symbols, images, emotions, and repetition. This is yet another testament to the wisdom behind ancient rituals and spiritual practices. They are precisely the methods for communicating directly with the subconscious. A ritual is not just an action. It's a story told through symbols. When a shaman uses a feather to sweep away negative energy, the subconscious doesn't see a feather. It understands the message of purification and cleansing. When monks repeat a mantra tens of thousands of times, they are using repetition to engrave a vibrational frequency, an intention, directly into the subconscious, bypassing the resistance of the conscious mind. Another example from modern science is hypnotherapy. In a hypnotic state, the brain is brought into theta waves. The conscious mind temporarily subsides, allowing the therapist to communicate directly with the subconscious and introduce new, positive suggestions to replace old programs. All of these methods, from ancient to modern, share a common purpose: to bypass the critical mind in order to change core beliefs at the subconscious level. When you understand this, you realize that just sitting and thinking positively, superficially, is not enough. That's only the 5% of the conscious mind at work. To create real change, you need to speak to the other 95%. You need to become the shaman of your own life, using symbols, images, emotions, and intentional repetition to convince your subconscious to believe in a new reality. Once your subconscious truly believes, it becomes a powerful ally, constantly observing and collapsing the wave function in the direction you desire, even while you sleep. It is now time to string everything together. The phenomena we once called superstition are not a violation of natural law. On the contrary, they are a masterful application of the deepest natural laws, the laws of the quantum world. For a belief to bend reality, it must become an act of quantum observation that combines three essential elements. Clarity. The intention must be held in a focused, undistracted mind. This is the alpha-theta brainwave state, achieved through meditation, ritual, or intense concentration. Energy. The intention must be charged with a powerful and positive emotion. This is the state of heart coherence, achieved by feeling gratitude, love, and joy as if the outcome has already happened. Congruence. The intention must be fully accepted by both the conscious and subconscious minds. This is the state of a non-conflicted mind, where no limiting beliefs are secretly sabotaging the effort. When these three elements converge, a person no longer wishes for something to happen. They become one with that outcome on an energetic level. They are emitting a coherent and powerful electromagnetic signal into the quantum field. This signal, like a powerful magnet, attracts and organizes energy, collapsing the wave function of infinite possibilities into a corresponding physical reality. This is why not everyone can do it. Most of us lack one or all of these elements. Our minds are scattered, our emotions are contradictory, and our subconscious is filled with self-sabotaging programs. The signal we transmit is weak, noisy, and inconsistent. A shaman, a mystic, or a person of unshakable faith is not someone who has been given a gift. They are Olympic athletes of the mind. They have spent hours, days, and years training to focus their attention, purify their emotions, and unify their inner being. The rituals and mantras are not magic spells. They are exercises in the gym of consciousness. When we see it this way, superstition disappears, replaced by a profound scientific understanding. It is no longer a mysterious, frightening world, but a realm of human potential, a skill that can be learned and cultivated. So, how can we, as modern people, begin the journey of becoming the shaman of our own lives? We don't need to travel to remote tribes or enter monasteries. Our laboratory is our daily life, and the tools are already within us. The journey begins with self-awareness. Start observing your own thoughts and emotions like a scientist. When you desire something, listen for any inner voice that objects. You can't do it. You're not worthy. That is the voice of your subconscious programs. Don't judge it, just acknowledge its presence. Next, practice creating coherence. Every day, take a few minutes to truly feel gratitude. Don't just say thank you, but live in that feeling. Feel the warmth spreading from your heart. Gratitude is the fastest way to bring your heart and brain into a harmonious state, to emit a powerful energy signal. Use the power of visualization. The subconscious loves images. Before you go to sleep, spend time visualizing the life you desire, not as a distant dream, but as a memory that has already happened. Add as much detail and emotion as you can. What are you doing? Where are you? How do you feel? By doing this, you are playing a movie for your subconscious over and over, until it accepts it as truth. And finally, be patient and consistent. Reprogramming 95% of your mind is not an overnight job. It's like sculpting a block of stone. Every positive thought, every grateful emotion, every visualization is a strike of the chisel. At first, you may not see any change, but if you persist, little by little, the shape of the stone will change, and one day, a new masterpiece will be revealed. This is not a shortcut to replace action. It is a way to make your actions exponentially more effective. When your inner world is congruent with your goal, the outer world will begin to rearrange itself in miraculous ways to support you. Opportunities will appear, the right people will arrive, and your actions will produce extraordinary results. We have come a long way, from ancient rituals to quantum laboratories, from the hearts of shamans to the firing of neurons, and we have arrived at a conclusion that is both simple and profound. Faith is not blindness. It is a consciously created state of energy. It is the science of coherence between intention, emotion, and belief. The world we experience is not a rigid, objective reality. It is a mirror that accurately reflects our own internal state. If the inside is filled with conflict, doubt, and fear, the outside world will mirror that chaos. If the inside is filled with harmony, trust, and love, the world will open up to infinite possibilities. You don't have to take my word for it. Science has shown the way, and ancient wisdom has left the map. Now you are the explorer. Conduct your own experiments. Start with small things. Try focusing the full power of your faith on a small goal and see what happens. This is episode 8 of our 111 video series on the energy of the universe, where science and spirituality meet to help you better understand yourself and the evolution of consciousness. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next videos. And finally, I want to leave you with a question. What subconscious program or limiting belief do you realize has been silently preventing you from creating the reality you've always desired? Share it in the comments below, because recognizing it is the first step to changing it.